We are on the record December 16, 2013 at 10:07 a.m. This is the beginning of tape one with the court reporter swearing the witness.
Sir, would you raise your right hand, please? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Please state your name.
Doron Almog.
And how do you spell your last name?
Almog.
Where do you reside, Mr. Almog?
Excuse me?
Where do you live?
Israel.
What's your address there?
2. English is not so big, it's so good, so I'll speak slowly. 2 Sokolov Street, Ramat Gan. Ramat Gan.
Can you spell that?
Ramatgan.
Mr. Almog, you're going to need to really speak up because we've got some construction going out, and if it just gets to where we can't function in here, we've got another conference room downstairs that's smaller. We'll just squeeze in there.
I'll try.
Mr. Almog, how old are you, sir?
45.
Are you married?
No.
Have you been married?
Yes.
What's your ex-wife's name?
Sivan.
Spell it, please.
Sivan.
And do you have any children?
Yes.
How many?
3.
Can you just give me their ages?
20, 17, 10.
Are they in the U.S. or are they in Israel?
Israel.
Have you given a deposition before?
No,
You are a lawyer, are you not?
I am.
And you not a U.S. lawyer, but in Israel, right?
Yes.
Is there any specialty that as a lawyer that you practice in?
I don't understand.
Do you practice law in Israel?
I don't work as a lawyer. I'm a CPA.
Have you ever practiced law in Israel?
Yes.
Okay. Do you represent any clients in a legal capacity?
Can you I don't understand what you say.
Yes. Do you have any clients as a lawyer?
Yes.
And what type of clients do you represent in a legal capacity?
What is legal capacity?
As a lawyer, what type of clients do you represent?
Tax.
So as a CPA with a law license, you represent clients in tax matters.
You ask if I can represent for tax matters?
I'm asking, do you represent individuals in tax matters?
Yes.
And you provide legal advice as to tax matters?
Yes.
And you provide services as a CPA, which is a certified public accountant in Israel, right?
Yes.
And when did you get your degree? I assume you have an accounting degree?
Yes.
Where did you go to college?
Ramat Gan.
Excuse me?
Ramat Gan.
And when did you graduate?
2008. 1998.
So in 1998, you graduated from, is it
Ramat Gan.
Ramadan?
Yes.
With an accounting degree?
Yes.
Did you have any other degrees?
Yes.
What other degrees did you have?
A law degree.
Other than an accounting degree and a law degree, do you have any other degrees?
No.
Do you have any other education in the form of higher education on any particular topic or subject?
No.
Do you work for a firm or are you self-employed as a CPA in Israel?
Self-employed.
What's the name of your business?
It's Almog Asher. ASHER.
Almog Asher? Is Asher a partner?
No.
What's Asher? What does Asher mean?
I bought Asher quitted. It was a CPA. He quitted, and I bought the clients. I mean,
Okay, so you
the
bought,
practice.
you bought Asher's company?
Practice.
His practice. When did you buy Asher's practice?
2011.
When you graduated from college in 1998, what did you do?
What do you mean?
Well, did you work anywhere?
Same job like I do today.
Okay. You didn't have your, did you work for yourself then, or were you employed by a company?
Myself.
Okay, so since you graduated college in 1998, you've been self-employed?
Yes.
Do you represent clients in audits?
Yes.
Do you perform audits?
Yes.
And you prepare clients' tax returns, correct?
Yes.
How many clients would you say you have currently?
I don't know.
You don't have an estimate of your book of business?
Maybe 80.
That's currently, you have about 80?
I think. I never
Approximate.
count. Yes.
What about in 2014? Did you have more or less or about the same amount of clients?
I guess same.
Can you give me a gross revenue? What's the amount of revenue you do on a yearly basis?
Why do I have to give you my revenue?
Because I'm asking what your revenue is on a yearly basis.
Do I have to give it?
Just give a general number. He's entitled to find out generally what your economic situation is. If he gets into private stuff that's beyond the scope of discovery, I'll object.
Maybe 100,000.
100,000 US dollars?
Yes.
And that's gross, total receipts, 100,000?
What do you mean?
Well, I ask you the amount of money or an estimate as to the gross revenue of your business on a yearly basis. And you told me...
The net or?
Gross, total.
Oh, gross. Maybe 250.
US?
Yes.
Do you have any brothers?
Yes.
Who are your brothers?
Mike. No, I have older sister, Zila, Mike, and Ofer.
What's your sister's full name?
Zila Gore, Gore.
What's your full name? You said Doron Almog. What, is there a middle name?
No?
Okay. Your date of birth?
19 February 71.
Do you have a U.S. Social Security number or any type of identification number issued by the U.S.?
No.
No employer ID or federal ID number issued by the U.S. government?
I guess I have tax ID.
Okay. Because you do file tax returns in the United States, correct?
Yes.
But you do not have a Social Security number, do you?
No.
I've seen in some papers that the name Aaron. Is your middle name Aaron? Your name Aaron?
No.
No? Do you, Mike Mizrachi and Ofer Mizrachi, do you have the same mother
Yes.
and the same father?
Yes.
Why is your last name different?
I changed it.
When did you change your last name?
Maybe 20 years ago.
Why did you change your name, your last name?
I didn't like Mizrachi.
Is there any relation to Almog? Is it a family name, or
No?
you just picked it?
Yes.
So when you were about 25 years old, you decided you didn't like your last name and you changed it?
Yes.
And you've gone by Almog ever since you had it changed approximately 20 years ago?
I don't understand. Can you repeat?
Yes, when you had your name changed to Almog approximately 20 years ago, you've used that name and not Mizrachi since
Yes. Yes.
then. There hasn't been any crossover, is what you're saying.
What is crossover?
Well, you haven't used Almog one day and
No,
Mizrachi
no,
the
no,
next.
no, no, no.
Now, are you familiar with depositions in general, being a lawyer?
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Well, you know that you're sworn to tell the truth today, correct?
Yes.
And I'm asking questions, and your lawyer has a right to object if he disagrees or there's an issue with the question. Do you understand that?
Yes.
What did you do to prepare for your deposition?
What did I do?
Yes.
I met with my lawyer
Okay.
and we read the petition and we read the.
Don't go into details of what we did. That would be work.
Okay.
You met with your lawyer.
Okay. What documents did you review?
What documents? We didn't go through documents.
Did you look at any documents?
No?
No emails?
No?
Simply the petition?
Petition and my answer to the question that you asked.
Okay. And I'm not asking for what your lawyer said to you and what you said to your lawyer. I'm simply asking, what did you look at to prepare for your deposition?
And I said,
You said the petition, and what else did you say?
I read the answer that I answered before.
He's talking about the responses, the written discovery.
The discovery responses.
Yes.
Did you go through the documents that you produced in this case?
No.
Did you review any notes you've taken over the years as to anything that may or may not have happened between you and your brothers?
No.
Why did you sue your brothers?
Why did I sue? Why I started it?
This is a lawsuit that was filed by you through counsel on July 20 of 2015. Why did you sue your brothers?
I wanted to audit the books and they refused to give me any information.
Refused to give you what?
Any information.
What information did you want that they refused to give you?
To see where the money comes and where it goes.
Well, as a CPA and accountant, what documents specifically did you want to see that you did not get?
I sent the demand letter and explained what I want.
Okay. My question is, as you sit here today, what documents did you as a CPA, a person with auditing experience, want to see that you did not have?
Rent rolls,
Okay.
invoices,
What type of invoices?
any invoice.
Invoices that the companies paid or
Yes.
invoice?
Yes.
Okay. And invoices that do the companies send out invoices?
They don't send out. They
Okay.
just write invoice when the tenant pay. Payrolls,
Payroll?
yes.
Okay.
Did I say rent rolls?
You said rent rolls, invoices, and payroll.
Bank statements, credit card statements, any management agreement, That's what I remember now.
And when did you first request these documents?
December 14.
December 14th of 2000, or in December 2014?
Yes.
Now, how long have you been in business with your brothers?
Maybe 10 years.
So, prior to December 2014, were you ever provided with rent rolls by your brothers?
I could see it because I could log into the company computers,
Okay.
but they blocked me when I started to ask questions.
Okay. So in December 2014, when you requested this list of 6 documents,
Yes.
6 different groups of documents, you actually had access to the rent rolls at that time.
Only to the rent rolls.
Okay. When were you blocked access to the rent rolls?
I guess in the end of December or maybe January.
Okay. So what information prior to December of 2014 were you looking for that you didn't already have access to?
I don't understand. Can you repeat?
Yes, you had access to rent rolls for the entire 10-year period you were in business with your brothers until the end of December 2014, correct?
Yes.
What information were you looking for in December 2014 that you didn't already have access to?
The rent roll is only one small part of the whole picture. You cannot do anything with it.
I understand. I'm asking as to the rent roll.
Yes.
As of the beginning of December 2014, you had access to the rent rolls for the entire 10-year period of time before that, correct?
I could watch it, but I didn't have it.
Well, you could print it, could you not?
I didn't have to.
Well, you didn't have to because you could review it online, right?
If I wanted to see it, I could see it, but I cannot do anything only with rent rolls.
You could not do what?
Anything with only rent rolls.
I understand. But as far as the rent rolls, you had the rent rolls up through December 2014, correct?
I could see it if I wanted.
And you could have printed them if you wanted to, correct?
I'm not sure because I logged to their computer.
You don't know whether or not you could download it or not?
I didn't have to. I trusted him.
No, that's not my question.
Okay.
Could you have downloaded it to your computer had you wanted?
Maybe yes.
What type of computer do you use?
Regular computer,
PC?
laptop.
Okay. Is it a Mac or is it a
No,
it
it's
a
not.
PC?
PC.
Okay. What type of email software do you use?
Gmail.
Now, you said in December 2014 you also requested the payroll records, correct?
Yes.
Prior to the end of 2014, December 2014, you had access to the payroll records, did you not?
To payroll, no.
Did you ever ask your brothers to provide you with the payroll records prior to December 2014?
No.
Were you provided with any information as it relates to payroll?
What do you mean?
Well, were you provided with financial statements that reflected what the company's payroll was?
No.
So prior to December 2014, you had no idea what your brothers were, what the payroll of the companies were?
I could look, listen, Mike did the accounting on Microsoft Money program. Okay?
Okay.
So he writes whatever you want, but I never had to check on him. He's my brother.
The question is not whether you had to check on them. The question is whether or not you had access to what was being paid as payroll prior to December 2014.
I had access to what he wrote. I don't know the names and I don't know who he can pay you and write that he paid him. I can't verify anything.
Okay. Prior to December 2014, excuse me, did you have any questions or concerns concerning payroll?
I didn't ask any question. I believed in him 100%. I didn't have a reason to check on him. Don't check on your brothers Or maybe you do. I don't.
So I don't have to generically say companies. You filed a lawsuit. Your lawsuit is against Green Tree Apartments, LLC, correct?
Yes.
What is your ownership interest in Green Tree Apartments today?
1/3.
So you have a 1/3 membership interest in Green Tree Apartments, LLC.
I do. We signed a contract, but he didn't fill the terms on the contract.
You've also sued Pattaya, LLC, is that correct?
Yes,
What is your ownership interest in Pattaya, LLC?
1/3.
You've also sued Glen Willow, LLC, correct?
Yes,
And what is your ownership interest in Glen Willow, LLC?
1/3.
Who are the other 1/3? Who owns the other 2/3 of each of these? Do you know?
Mike and Ofer.
Okay, so the other members are Mike and Ofer that own 66.66%, right? Or 2/3?
Yes.
Are there any documents that control the operations of each of these LLCs?
I don't understand.
Is there a company agreement or operating agreement associated with each of these LLCs?
I never seen something like this.
You've never seen a company agreement?
No. The only agreement they sent me wasn't signed of Glen Willow.
Other than Green Tree Apartments, Pattaya, and Glen Willow, what other businesses are you involved in with Mike and Ofer?
Glen Willow, Florida.
And what's your ownership in Glen Willow, Florida?
1/3.
Mike and Ofer have the other 2/3?
Yes. Do
you have any other business relationships with Mike and Ofer today?
Yes.
What is that?
There is another LLC that has two condos or houses. I don't know.
What's the name of it? Do you know?
I don't know.
Where is it located? Or where are the apartments located?
In Texas.
Aliana Cypress, does that sound familiar?
Yes.
And what's your membership interest in Aliana Cypress?
Quarter.
A quarter? Who are the other members?
Mike, Ofer, and Zila.
Is your sister?
Yes.
Do they each own a quarter?
Yes.
Are you involved in any other businesses with your brothers?
We have a land in Florida.
Is there an entity that holds that land?
I don't know.
Where's the land located?
Florida.
Okay, is there any particular city in Florida?
I don't. I think it's Cape Coral.
Is it Beacon Condos? Does that sound familiar?
Yes, maybe. I don't know if it's there, but I know this LLC.
What's your ownership interest in Beacon Condos?
1/3. If it's Beacon Condos, I don't know.
Okay. So if Beacon Condos owns the property in Cape Coral, then you own 1/3.
Yes.
And do your brothers own the other 2/3?
Yes.
Are you involved in any other businesses with your brothers?
Not that I remember.
Okay. What about in the last 5 years? Have there been any other business entities you've been involved in with your brothers that you're no longer involved in?
We had another property that sold in 2014,
What was the name of that one?
Nordling.
What was your ownership interest in Nordling?
1/3.
Any other businesses you've been a partner with your brothers?
I don't remember anymore.
Do you have a position, or are you an officer with Green Tree Apartments?
I had, but they deleted my name.
Okay. What were you before your name was deleted?
Register agent.
Okay. Were you a manager?
I don't know.
What about with Pattaya? Did you hold any position with Pattaya other than as a member?
I don't know. Mike report to the States, not me.
Okay, but you have some familiarity with what you were with these companies, correct?
I don't familiar with the titles, what it means. I know that I'm a member, but I don't know the rest of it.
Okay. How much money have you taken out of Pattaya in 2014?
None.
You weren't paid any distributions in 2014?
No.
What about Glen Willow? Were you paid any distributions in 2014?
No.
What about from Green Tree Apartments? Were you paid any distributions in 2014?
No.
When was the last time you received a distribution from Pattaya?
2015.
So this year you received a distribution.
Yes.
What was the distribution from Pattaya this year?
26,000.
Have you received any distributions from Glen Willow this year, 2015?
No.
What about from Green Tree in 2015?
Not from Green Tree. I got it from Gary.
What did you receive from Gary?
388,000.
$388,000. What was the $388,000 you received for?
We sold the property of Green Tree,
Okay.
and my partners didn't want to give me my share. And two months later, they gave me this part of the proceeds from the sale.
Okay. What do you mean they didn't want to give you your share?
They took the old proceeds and bought a new property.
And did you want to be a part of that new property?
In the beginning,
Ever?
nobody asked me, they just took the money.
Okay. So they didn't ask you to be a part of it?
No?
Now you said that Gary Mizrachi, that's Mike's son, right? Gave you $388,000. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
And let me just clarify. If since your testimony is being transcribed, if you say you shake your head, it doesn't pick up. So I'll have to prompt you to clarify your
Okay.
answer. Okay.
Okay.
So Gary Mizrachi paid you $388,000. You said for the property.
It was my 1/3 of the selling the property.
Okay. So you're saying you received $388,000 for the sale of the property, but you didn't sell your membership interest?
I wanted to sell my interest with a few conditions that were never filled.
Okay. What were the conditions that were never filled?
I don't remember. It's written on the contract.
Okay. Have you returned the $388,000?
No.
Have you paid tax on the $388,000?
No, I don't have to pay.
Why do you not have to pay tax
Because
on the
if
wait, let me finish my question.
Sorry.
Why do you not have to pay tax on the $388,000 you were paid for your ownership interest?
Objection form.
Excuse me?
I'm objecting to the form of the question.
Okay.
Your lawyer will, if he's got an issue with the question, he'll object as to form, but you can still answer the question to the extent you can. You'll only not answer a question if he specifically instructs you not to answer. Okay?
So what should I do now?
You should answer unless I say don't answer.
Okay.
Yeah. So My question was, it's your testimony that you do not have to pay tax on the $388,000 you received?
Yes, as I see it, the contract is valid because it didn't fill the terms. So if the contract is valid, then I don't have to pay the tax.
You said if the contract is valid, you do not
Yes.
have to pay the tax.
Yes,
And if the contract is valid, then you would not have any ownership interest, correct?
Repeat?
Yes, if the contract is valid and in effect, you wouldn't have an ownership interest anymore, would you?
If you will fill all the terms, then I will sell and then I have to pay tax.
Okay, so you're saying until the contract has been, let's say, concluded, it's your
What is
testimony
concluded?
finished.
Yes,
All of the obligations performed under the contract, it's your position you do not have to pay any tax on the $388,000.
yes,
But once the contract has been completed or terminated,
yes.
you've got to pay tax on it to the U.S. government, right?
If it's terminated,
Yes. I mean, you don't get to keep the $388,000 just yours for nothing, right?
right,
So the contract is either going to be completed one way or the other, or you're going to give the money back, right?
if the judge will tell me to bring to pay the money back, I will pay it back.
Okay, so you're not going to return the money. You're going to hang on to your interest, purportedly hang on to your interest in Green Tree Apartments LLC and keep the $388,000. Is that
Until the judge will deal with my claim.
okay? Have you represented in this case that you paid tax on the $388,000 already?
I don't understand.
Yes. Did you provide discovery responses in this case where you indicated that you paid tax on the $388,000?
If I said that I paid,
Yes.
no.
When did you receive your law license?
A few months ago,
In 2015?
yes,
Do you remember the month?
maybe June.
Is there, in Israel, you have to pass an exam?
Yes,
Had you taken the exam prior to 2015?
St-
When did you take the we call it here in the U.S. the bar exam. Do you call it the bar
Yes,
exam?
yes, in
Okay.
2015.
Was that the first time you took it?
Yes,
When did you graduate from law school?
2014, I guess.
And what law school did you graduate from?
Ono College.
You were paid the $388,000 by check, were you not?
2 checks.
2 checks.
Yes,
Now, you said Gary Mizrachi paid it.
yes,
Was it from Gary Mizrachi's personal account?
I believe.
Do you have a copy of the checks?
I gave it to you.
You gave me a copy of the checks?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Almog, I've just handed you what's been marked as Exhibit 1 to your deposition. And have you seen this document before, sir?
Yes.
And it is Bates numbered ALM 8 through ALM 11. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when I say Bates numbers, you know I'm referring to the number that's added by the lawyers at the bottom right-hand corner of the page, correct?
Yes.
And that's how we will identify, to the extent we can, various documents, okay?
Yes.
Now, this is the title of this document, Exhibit 1, is the Assignment, Assumption, and Sale of Limited Liability Company Membership Interest. Is that correct?
Yes.
And if you turn to page 2, it's actually ALM 9, page 2 of Exhibit 1.
Yes.
You actually signed this document, did you not?
Yes.
And is that your signature on where it's right above Doron Almog? Is that your signature?
Yes.
Okay. And this document was provided to you by whom?
Mike. Mike and Ofer.
Mike and Ofer provided you this document, correct?
Yes.
Now, were you paid the money before or after this document was sent to you?
What money?
The $388,000 that you were paid, did you take the money before or after this document was signed?
I don't remember.
But when this document was sent to you,
Yes.
how was it transmitted? By email?
Yes, I put it here.
Okay. And so you received an email with this Exhibit 1, this
Yes.
contract attached, right?
Yes.
And when you received it, you reviewed it?
Yes, I had objections here.
Okay. Did you have an independent lawyer other than yourself review this document?
No.
You were representing yourself on this matter, so to speak.
Yes.
And now, when you made these changes to this document,
Yes.
do you remember whether or not you'd already received the $388,000?
I said I don't remember.
Okay. Now, when this document was transmitted to you, was it your understanding that Mike Mizrachi believed this to be a final document when it was transmitted to you?
No.
So it's your understanding that Mike and Ofer, your brothers, transmitted this to you as a draft?
Can you repeat?
Yes. When this document was transmitted to you, is
Yes.
it your testimony that your brothers were anticipating you were going to make changes and edits to the document?
They knew. We talked on the phone while I wrote all these conditions.
Okay, so you were talking on the phone to them as you were writing these conditions?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember, as you were talking on the phone, dictating these conditions, were you in possession of the $388,000?
I said I don't remember.
Now, if you look on the first page of Exhibit 1, where it says, toward the bottom where it says payment, do you see that, sir?
Yes.
And it says, the sum of $388,857 will be paid by Assinee to Asinor on the effective date. Do you see that?
Yes.
Why did you mark out that and put 0?
Because I didn't sell my partnership for 388.
What did you sell, sir?
The 388 reflects the money that they took from selling Green Tree LLC.
Well, they didn't sell Green Tree LLC, the entity, did they?
No, they sold the building and didn't give me my share. This is exactly the money of the building selling, not my membership.
Okay, so do you think that you personally had an ownership interest in the building owned by Green Tree Apartments LLC?
I don't understand.
Yes. You were a member of a limited liability company, were you not?
Yes.
As you would be a stockholder in a company almost, correct?
Yes.
And, well, let me ask you, do you own stock in any companies?
Yes.
Okay. Any publicly traded companies?
No.
Okay, but you own stock in companies that are in Israel or the U.S. or where?
I don't understand.
Yes, do you own any stock in any corporations?
Yes.
And as a shareholder, as an owner of stock in those corporations, do you own any personally own any of the company's assets, or do you just own the stock?
I own the stock.
So when you have an LLC, you have a membership interest. As a lawyer, is it your understanding that you have an ownership interest in the property owned by the LLC or your membership interest?
Membership interest.
Okay. And it's your understanding that as a member of an LLC, you don't, if you withdrew or left an LLC, you don't have a right to demand any particular asset to take with you, correct?
I don't understand what you say.
Yes. If you were going to withdraw from an LLC,
What do you mean withdraw? Quit?
quit.
Yes.
You don't have a right to take any particular asset with you, do you?
Yes, but if I quit under conditions, you must fill the conditions. You can't pick only what you want.
Okay. That's not my question, though. As a member of an LLC, if you quit or withdraw from the LLC,
Yes.
you don't have a right to take with you particular assets, do you?
Right.
So will you explain again why you believed you were entitled to $388,000 for the sale of the building as opposed to your sale of your membership interest?
I don't understand.
Yes, your testimony is that you were to receive $388,000 for the sale of the building, not for the sale of your membership interest. Is that correct?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because the other partners took all the proceeds from the selling, okay? And I didn't get anything.
Okay. When did the sale occur, sir?
February 27th, if I'm correct.
Of 2015.
Yes.
And you're saying the other partners took all the money from the sale and didn't give you any?
Yes.
Did they take the money, or did they take it as a distribution out of Green Tree Apartments LLC?
I don't understand.
Yes, did they take it as you said they took the money, did they take, I guess, almost $800,000? Did they just take it out of Green Tree Apartments LLC?
Not 8, they took almost 1.2 million and wire it to 1031 company.
Okay, so they did a 1031 exchange.
Yes.
Now, before this document was executed, you had numerous communications with a CPA regarding how to structure this deal to get your tax liability down, did you not?
What is numerous? What is numerous?
Let's say you had at least 2 communications with a CPA inquiring how to structure this deal to reduce your taxes, do you not?
No. I asked the CPA how much would be my tax if I sell the building.
Okay. Did you have communications with OFER regarding how to structure the deal to lower your tax liability?
Maybe.
You don't remember telephone communications with him about that?
We talked a lot this time. I don't remember.
Well, before you executed Exhibit 1, were you concerned about your tax liability?
Not concerned. I asked how much would I get after tax.
Now, if you look on there's page 3 of Exhibit 1,
Yes.
which appears to be a translation.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you know who had this translation prepared?
Who had?
Yes.
I sent it to a company in Israel.
So a company in Israel, you asked to have this document translated.
Yes.
Actually, to have your edits to the document translated, correct?
Yes.
Do you think you marked out on page 2 of Exhibit 1, the assignment, assumption, and sale of limited liability company membership interest. On page 2, you marked out the release and indemnification paragraph.
What is it?
Well, paragraph 5, you crossed out.
This?
Yes.
You asked me why I deleted it?
Yes.
Okay.
Why did you delete it?
because of the conditions. They want me to sign for something I didn't mean to.
So when you were paid your $388,000, and if they had complied with all of these obligations, you still weren't willing to release any claims that you had against either the partnerships or your brothers?
After everything will be full, then I will release it.
Did you note that in here, sir?
Excuse me?
Did you note that in this document anywhere?
Yes,
Where?
I deleted it and added conditions.
Okay. When you look at the top of the second page, it's actually it's paragraph 3C, where it says Asinor is responsible to pay his taxes in the amount of $101,770. Do you see that?
Yes.
Was it your understanding that that would be the amount of your taxes as a result of this sale?
I don't have to pay tax on this sale.
Okay. Was it did the CPAs tell you were going to have to pay tax on this sale?
No,
Nobody told you that?
no.
How much were you going to sell your membership interest for?
I don't know.
Were you just going to give it away?
No, if I see how much money is missing, I can tell you. I'm still checking.
What does net operating income mean to you, sir?
What do you mean?
What does net operating income mean to you?
The income, deduct the expenses. This is the net.
Mr. Almog, I want to hand you what's been marked as Exhibit 2. I want to ask if you've seen this document before.
Yes,
Okay. Can you tell us who is Lisa Beetler?
the former CPA.
And she was a CPA for you personally?
Yes,
She filled out your personal returns, did she not?
yes.
And she was the CPA for Green Tree Apartments LLC, correct?
Yes,
And if you look on the second to the last page, it's page 7 of 8 of Exhibit 2.
yes,
You see on January 14 of 2015, you reached out to Miss Lisa Beetler, and you indicated you wanted to get a copy of tax returns. Is that correct?
yes,
Did she provide you a copy of tax returns?
yes,
And so at this point, you had a copy of all the company's tax returns, did you not?
until 2013, I guess, yes.
Prior to this time, as of this date, January 2015, were there any tax returns that you were missing or didn't have from any of the companies you're
I
involved
don't
in?
know, I never checked.
Now, if you look on page 6 of 8, third page from the back, you see on January 29th, you wrote another letter to
Yes.
Miss Beatler, and you say, "Hi, Lisa, we are selling the complex of Green Tree LLC." Do you see that?
Yes,
And you asked her, if I get my 1/3 of the sale, what would be the withholding percentage since I am not a U.S. citizen? Do you see that,
Yes.
sir?
yes,
And are you aware that as a non-U.S. citizen, when there's a sale of the property, there is amounts to be withheld
yes,
and paid directly to the U.S. government?
yes.
Now, did that happen in this case?
No, it's the company obligation, not mine.
Okay, so it's the company's obligation to do the withholding, not yours.
Yes,
And you were a 1/3 member of the company, were you not?
yes.
You don't know your position with the company? What was your position in early 2015 with the company? Do you know?
No,
Did you ask her, if you look on page 5 of 8, do you then ask her if she could calculate the tax you would owe?
where?
Look on page 5 of 8.
Yes.
In the middle of the page on February 1st, you said, "I really appreciate your fast and professional reply. The sale price of the complex of Green Tree LLC is $2.5 million. Since you know what the cost is in the books, can you calculate how much will be the withholding from me and from Ofer?" Do you see that?
Yes,
And as a member of the LLC, do you think you had an obligation to make sure that the LLC properly withheld money?
I couldn't control anything in this LLC.
You had no control, is what you're saying.
No, yes,
You signed the document that allowed the sale, did you not?
I did.
Could you have conditioned your agreement to sell the property on the LLC properly paying taxes?
Can you explain? I don't understand.
Yes, you said you had no control over what the LLC did, correct?
Yes, yes,
But you had control over whether or not the LLC sold the property, correct?
You asked me if I control the sale?
Yes.
No, I didn't control it.
You could have stopped the sale, could you not?
I did, and they threatened to sue me if I do it.
Well, you sued them, did you not?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So you sued them first, right?
Yes,
And now you've sued them a second time, right?
yes,
But my point is, before Green Tree Apartments LLC could sell the property, you had to agree in writing to that, didn't you not?
yes,
And you could have withheld your consent to the sale until certain conditions happened, right?
What conditions?
The proper withholding of taxes and remitting it to the federal government.
You don't know it when you sell, only later. How could I control the withholding before they sold the company? I don't understand what you say.
You're saying you could not have said, "I'm not going to sign this document authorizing the sale of the property unless you agree to properly do withholding"?
No, we sold another property. We didn't have any problem with tax.
Which property was that?
Nordling?
And did you remit payment to the federal government for?
I don't know. Mike did everything.
Was there withholding from that?
I don't know.
Do you know how much you received?
I didn't receive any money.
If you look on page 3 of 8, at the bottom, you see Ms. Beatler says, she summarized at the bottom, she says, at the very last line on page 3 of 8, she says, Doron, 33.33%, $294,858 at 39.6% tax with a withholding of $116,763. Do you see that?
Yes,
You actually received more than the $294,000, did you not?
I did.
And as of today, still no tax has been paid on it.
You should know that you don't pay on what you get. You pay for your profit. So it doesn't matter if I pay more or less.
Okay. Was your profit more or less than $294,000?
I don't know.
You have no idea what your profit was?
No.
How are you going to pay tax on it?
I'm preparing my tax now.
What you did ask the CPA, though, what your tax liability would be, did you not?
I did.
And later, did you communicate with Ofer and try to instruct him on how the transaction should be structured so as to lower your tax liability?
I don't know.
Does that seem like a conversation you would have with your brother?
I don't remember what we talked about.
Well, is it true that Green Tree Apartments LLC, Pattaya LLC, and Glen Willow LLC were, since their inception, since they were created,
Yes.
it was ruled by basically the majority vote? Would you agree with that?
I don't understand what you ask.
Yes. If the majority, if Ofer and Mike, your
Yes.
brothers, wanted to do something with these three LLCs or
Yes.
handling them in a particular way,
Yes.
they controlled 2/3 of the voting interest, did they not?
It wasn't like this. Mike sent us email when he wanted to do something until
Okay.
he stopped.
And what did you say? You never stopped it?
No, until he stopped. He used to send us emails when he wanted to do something.
And did you disagree with what he would say was going to happen?
About what?
Whatever. You said he would communicate with you by email and say certain things were going to happen.
I didn't have any disagreement with him. He controlled the most of it.
Well, you and Ofer controlled the majority interest, did you not?
Yes.
And you could have controlled the operations of the business, could you not?
I don't understand.
Yes, you and Ofer could have put Mike out, could you not?
No.
Why not?
Because he ran the business.
Yes, but you and Ofer controlled 2/3 of the business, did you not?
If we had 2/3, we did have.
You did have 2/3, didn't you?
Yes, but we didn't run it. He ran it.
If you look on the first page of Exhibit 2, you see on March 13 of 2015, Ms. Beatler actually responded and she actually updated what your gain would be, correct?
Yes.
And your tax was going to be $101,770, correct?
Yes.
And is that the same amount that's on page 2 of Exhibit 1,
Yes.
where you agreed that it was requiring you to pay that amount of tax?
No, it's two different sales.
It is two. Okay, explain how it's two different sales.
This is the tax for selling the building. There's nothing to do with this.
Okay, who's responsible for the tax for selling the building? Who does the money go? Let me back up. If the building is sold,
Yes.
who does the money go to?
It went to the 1031,
No, sir, that's not my question. Who is to get the money when the building's sold?
the LLC.
Green Tree Apartments LLC, correct?
Yes.
And so how do you believe that you would pay tax on the sale of the building itself?
I don't understand what you ask.
Yes, is it your testimony that you were to pay tax on the sales proceeds from the building itself?
If I have to pay tax,
Yes.
depends of the contract.
Well, the contract says Asinor is responsible to pay his taxes in the amount of
No, it
$101,770.
said zero.
Well, you marked zero after you got
And he
the
agreed
contract.
to zero. I didn't mark it by myself.
Where did they execute this in any way?
What do you mean?
Do you see either Mike Mizrachi or Ofer Mizrachi's signature on here in any way?
No.
If I told you that you received the money, the $388,000 you received in two parts, did you not?
Yes.
And do you know what was the first amount you received?
Maybe 358.
$358, and then you received an additional $30,000, correct?
Yes.
Now, if I told you you received the $358,000 on March 18 of 2015, would you disagree with that?
Maybe it's true. I don't know.
Okay. Well, did you refuse to sign Exhibit 1 until after you received the money?
What do you mean?
Did you communicate with Mike and Ofer that you would not sign Exhibit 1 until you had the money in hand?
I'm not sure I understand.
Yes. Did you communicate, did you tell Mike Mizrachi that I will not sign Exhibit 1,
Yes.
the contract, until I have been paid what I'm owed?
The money or all the conditions?
No, the money.
No,
You didn't say that.
no.
Eric, I don't have an extra copy of this. Let me let you look at that first. That's your production and your Bates numbers at the bottom.
Okay. We'll run a Xerox of that as a break.
Thank you. Mr. Almog, I want to hand you what's been marked as Exhibit 3 to your deposition. Can you tell us what Exhibit 3 is?
It's 2 checks.
May I have it back for a second? Thank you. And can you tell us the date, well, the amount of the first check, please?
It's March 18.
It's dated March 18 of
From here or from the check?
Well, look on the check itself.
17.
So it's dated March 17,
Yes.
and then it posted on March 18th, correct?
Yes.
Posted mean it made it to your account, correct?
Yes.
So as of March 18 of 2015, how much was the check for?
3,058 and 767.
I see it. You mean $358,767?
Yes.
Now, on March 18th, you had that money in your account, correct?
Yes.
And you had not signed Exhibit 1 yet, had you?
Yes.
Yes, you had signed it? Or
No, I didn't.
No, okay. So you had $358,000, you were holding it before you signed Exhibit 1, correct?
Yes.
And before you made changes to Exhibit 1, correct?
Yes.
Now, did you offer to give the money back if your brothers did not agree to the terms you inserted on Exhibit 1?
Nobody asked me.
They never asked for your money back?
No.
How much did you believe, in addition to the $388,000 you received, how much additional money do you think you're entitled to, sir?
I don't know yet.
You have no idea what you're, well, when you signed this contract, what did you believe you were owed?
I didn't know. I asked to check.
Well, if you look on the third page of Exhibit 1,
Yes.
you added, Mr. Doron is to be paid 1/3 of the insurance company check without offsetting the expenses incurred by the fire damage related repairs. Do you see that?
Yes.
And do you know how much the fire insurance check was?
50,000.
50
Yes.
or 15?
50.
50,000. And then you also say Mr. Doron is to be paid 1/3 of the amount paid for building repairs against a $20,000 check which he had received as fire repair guarantee. Do you see that?
Yes.
So you would receive 1/3 of 20,000?
You asked me if I get the money?
Well, I'm asking you what you claiming you were owed.
1/3 of the 20,000.
Okay. Now you also added, if you look down at the bottom, it says a final settlement of expenses paid up front, such as vehicle leasing for Mr. Moti, which that's Mike. Mortgage and advance payments against expenses, correct?
Yes.
All right, well, who was going to, you inserted this in Exhibit 1 after you already had possession of $358,000,
I
correct?
don't understand. Say it again.
Yes. You inserted these edits into Exhibit 1 after you already had possession of $358,000, correct?
All the draft contract was made after they paid the 358.
Yes, that's what I said. Your edits, your manipulation of Exhibit 1 was done after you had possession of $358,000.
What is manipulated?
Changed, modified.
The all draft were made after the 358.
Okay, so the entire document, it was drafted and your changes were made after you received the money.
Yes.
Now, what did, as the final settlement of expenses, what did you anticipate that number to be?
I don't know. When I see the books, I will tell you.
Okay. Did you request books at that time?
Before.
Okay. And did you request documents that did you need certain documents to come up with this number?
Yes, I need all the documents.
All the documents that you listed in the beginning?
Yes.
But you had those documents before December 2014, did you not?
No.
Let me ask you, before December 14, were you provided with financial information relative to Green Tree Apartments LLC on any particular time frame?
I don't understand.
Fair enough. Wasn't a very good question. Did you receive financial information relative to the businesses with any regularity?
What is regularity?
Was there a time period when you would receive certain financial information?
I got access to the banks for a short time.
Well, prior to December 2014, you had access to all of the company's bank accounts, did you not?
No.
Which company bank account did you not have access to?
I did have access to one account for a very short time. In 2013, I guess.
So you're saying after 2013 you didn't have access to the company bank accounts?
No, this is the first time. The second time was about March or April 2015, and then they blocked me again.
Okay, well in March or April of 2015 when you had access to the company accounts, did you review information and did you try to determine what this final settlement of expenses would be?
I cannot. I'm missing a lot of documents.
Well, what did you do to try to determine what the final settlement of expenses would be, sir?
I believe they will supply all the documents and then we'll do the final accounting.
Well, you had access to bank accounts, did you not?
Yes.
And up until December 2014, you had access to the rent rolls, did you not?
I did.
And up until December 2014, you received the, what'd you call it, a Microsoft Money program?
Yes.
Did you receive information from Microsoft Money program?
What do you mean?
Yeah, did Mike Mizrachi send you printouts and spreadsheets from the Microsoft Money program?
Yes.
How often did he send you that information?
When I asked, maybe once a month, 2 months.
Okay, so whenever you asked, every month or two, Mike would send you the information you requested, right?
No, it just sent me a backup of the money program.
Okay, and did you review the money program to see where the money was going and what was being done with the money?
I cannot,
Why?
because you write only what you want to write.
Okay. Let me ask you, and I when as of April 30th, 2015, you had full access to all the company bank accounts, did you not?
Only for a very short time,
What's a short time?
maybe 1 month or 2 months.
Okay, so for that 2 months, beginning in April 2015, did you print the bank statements?
Some of them.
Okay. What do you believe as it relates to bank statements?
As what, Susan?
As it relates to bank statements,
Yes.
as of April 2015, what did you not have access to that you wanted to see?
Invoices,
As it relates to bank statements, what did you not have as of April 2015 that you wanted to see?
in the bank statement,
Yes.
I could see the bank statement.
Okay. So there's not an issue as to needing bank statements, correct? You had them, right?
Can you repeat? I don't understand.
Yes, you're saying, one, you weren't provided with information and you couldn't calculate certain amounts that you believe your brothers owed you because you didn't have various documents, right?
Right.
And one of those documents you're saying you needed were the bank statements, right?
That's one of them.
Okay, but you had full access to the bank statements as of April 2015, correct?
For a very short time, yes.
1 to 2 months, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the other documents that you believe you would need to calculate what you believe you're owed under Exhibit 1 or just damages in this case, what other documents as a CPA did you want to see?
I told you in the beginning.
Okay, and this is an exhaustive list, so it's invoices,
Yes.
payroll, right?
Yes.
You had, but you're telling us that you had access to payroll through the end of 2014 when you were provided the money works, right? And that showed a payroll
No
number.
payrolls, just what he wrote. He wrote that he paid you. That's what I can see.
Okay. Did you question that though? Were there questions about the payroll numbers?
No.
Okay. You're saying you weren't provided credit card statements
When?
as of April 2015.
No.
When did you receive credit card statements?
He gave me once in 2013 when I asked. He gave me a password that never worked. And in 2015, he gave me again the access. And then I asked how to activate it. And until he gave me his wife's last name, then I could open the first time to log in.
And when was that?
2015.
January? February?
I don't remember exactly.
Okay, but so as of some point in early 2015, you had full access to the credit card statements, did you not?
In some point,
Yes.
to the credit cards that he showed me. I'm not sure it's all of them.
Okay, but you did have so unless there are other credit cards and statements that you don't know about,
Yes.
you have had in 2015 access to the credit card statements, right?
Yes, but there's nothing I can do with it. Because if I don't see the invoice, I don't know what he paid from there.
Can you even go over now and take a break when you get to the point?
We're good now?
Okay.